guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a chatty get ready with me. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, let's get into it. If you have not been following along, I've been doing a major decluttering of my life so far this year. And I did 3 videos, which I will link them up in the cards right here, of decluttering my makeup. And since I did that, I've been rediscovering things that have been in my collection that I just either forgot about or I haven't used in a long time. And a sweet subscriber, Kimberly, told me that I should do a rediscovered products get ready with me. So that's what we're doing today. I asked you guys on Instagram what questions or topics you wanted me to talk about. So I'm going to be chatting about all of those things. So let's do this. It feels so weird filming this early. It is 8:20 in the morning. I almost always film in the afternoon. I don't know why. I think I just don't want to come on here with like my morning voice, and a lot of times I do my computer work in the morning, so I'm not on here. But I'm just going to put some of this. It's the Nivea A Kiss of Moisture lip balm on. I'm just going to chat with you guys while I get ready. I asked you on Instagram if you had questions for me or topics that you wanted me to talk about, so I'm going to pull from those. The first thing I'm going to use is actually not something I rediscovered. My moisturizers, for the most part, I didn't have a ton that I didn't want, but I did get this Drunk Elephant Protini peptide cream. This was in the Sephora birthday gift, and my birthday was in December, and so I grabbed this and I haven't tried it yet, so I am going to try this out. I actually haven't tried anything from Drunk Elephant, which I feel like is crazy because I try so much skincare. I got way too much. I'm just gonna put it down my neck. Okay, one person said, new follower, can you do a rundown of basic info about you? All right, so for anyone new here, I am 33. I just turned 33 at the end of the year. I live in Michigan, and I do YouTube, and I used to be a brand consultant, so I would help brands with basically any aspect of their branding and just really of their business, whether that was social media or sales or their website or their logo or basically anything. I also used to run a wedding video company, and then I went off on my own. I've always known I wanted to work for myself. And then I also do have a jewelry line called With Love Sarah that is always linked below. The necklace and earrings that I'm wearing today are from that. Let's see. I recently, well, I guess not so recently, my boyfriend moved in, Adam, back in June of last year. It seems like it was so recently, but I guess it wasn't like super recently. I don't know. Is that enough? I'm trying to think of like things about me. I don't have pets. I don't like coffee. I'm left-handed. My hair is like unbelievably straight, like pin straight. But you will rarely ever see me wear it straight just because it's so straight that I feel like it has no life, and I have pretty fine hair. I have a lot of it, but it's fine, so I don't wear it straight very often. So those are probably like the main facts about me, I think. I guess anyone who's been watching for a while and can think of something else that someone new would want to know, leave it in the comments. For primer, I'm using an oldie but a goodie. It's actually not even that old. It came out a couple of years ago, but I'm almost out of it. It's from Origins. It's the Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer. This is an aerosol primer, and it is so good. I actually didn't even rediscover this. I just have always loved this, and I got rid of so many of the primers that I just wasn't using very often. So I just need to use the rest of this up, but I will definitely repurchase it. All right, someone asked for travel plans this year. In March, I am going to New York to meet my new nephew, who is due at the beginning of March. I'm so excited. My sister lives on Long Island, and so I'm actually going into the city. I'm going to stay with my cousin who lives there for a couple of days, and then Adam is going to meet me in the city. We're going to spend a day in Manhattan and then go to Long Island and meet my little nephew. I am so excited. It's my sister's second little boy. My nephew is going to be 3 this week, which is mind-blowing, and then the next one is due like a month after he'll be 3. So that is a trip in March. I'm using my NARS foundation. This I have only 2 foundations in my everyday makeup drawer, and then everything else, after the declutter, I ended up getting rid of a couple more, so I only have, I think, 2 other foundations. I think I have 4 foundations total right now, which is insane. My collection went from, I think, 7 drawers to 2 drawers, which is crazy. Anyway, in May, I am going to Lake Tahoe with one of my best friends and her husband. Adam and I are going, which is really exciting. Neither of us have ever been there. Actually, my friend has never been there either. Her husband was there, I think, for like a day or something. So it'll be really fun for us to just kind of explore and hang out there. And those are all the plans I have so far. My mom and I want to take a trip to Ireland. So we're trying to figure out when the best time would be to go there, because my mom's side of the family is very Irish and she has always wanted to go, and my dad just has really no interest in traveling overseas. So I'm going to go with my mom. I've always wanted to go to Ireland too. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. So that will be really fun. We just need to figure out when we're both going to have the time to go. So hopefully that will happen this year, and then I don't know. I'm sure there will be a couple of other trips. I just don't know when or where. Okay, the majority of the questions were about Adam, like 90% of the questions. You guys asking if we've talked about marriage, if I think we're gonna get engaged, if we want kids, and what was the other main one? Oh, and then somebody asked how Adam feels about me being / living my life on YouTube. So, 1, he doesn't care about me putting my life onto YouTube. I was already doing it when we met. I think maybe it would be different if I was working like a corporate job when we met, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm gonna just randomly start putting my life on YouTube. Maybe that would be harder for him. At first, when we started dating, I didn't share him, obviously. So that, I guess, is slightly different just because as we became more serious, and especially after we moved in together, I shared more of him just because he's a big part of my life. I'm using the Urban Decay Stay Naked, the Fix in 40 NN. This powder is so good. And then as far as if I think we'll get married, yes, I absolutely think we'll get married. We talked about it before he even moved in because I don't want to play house with somebody, and I was very clear about that. I think that if you want to get married, then that's definitely something you should talk about before moving in with somebody, just because I think it gets really easy to like settle into a routine and then not make that a priority. And both of us want kids, and we're both in our 30s. So I'm 33 and he's going to be 36 on the 14th, on Valentine's Day. So I think that it's important to make your intentions clear. Because I want to get married, I didn't want to like move in together before I knew that we would get married and then end up having to deal with like a breakup and moving out and separating stuff and all of that. That's just too complicated for me, and I'm just like the least dramatic person you've ever met. I just don't want to deal with that, so I separate myself from all things that could end in drama as much as possible. Obviously some things are inevitable. So this is the Narcissus palette. I'm not sure, Cheek Studio palette. This is from a while ago, and I've had it in my collection for so long I wasn't reaching for it, so I've been trying to reach for it more often. So I'm going to use the shade Laguna. This is a nice bronzer to contour with. It's hard not to blind you guys with that palette because the outside is a mirror too. And then I already answered, we do both want kids, so I think both of us are pretty set in the fact that we are like each other's person, which is just the best feeling ever. If you are single or you are in your 30s and dating, I know how rough that is, but it's definitely worth waiting for your person, because Adam was like by far worth the wait. Someone asked what my high school experience was. Not great. I'm going in with the Becca bronzer and Capri Coast. High school was interesting for me. So I went to private school from kindergarten to 8th grade, and then I went to public school for high school. So I didn't know anyone. Like, everyone else filtered in from the elementary schools to the middle schools to one big high school. And so everyone had gone to school with each other this whole time, and I didn't know anyone. And I was the shyest human on earth. So I didn't really have friends that went to my high school. I was friends with people that I worked. I was a waitress in high school. And then I just had friends, like, from growing up. I played softball. So I had, like, all of my childhood softball friends. I had my friends that I had gone to school with before, which actually some of them are still my best friends. I have 2 friends that I've known since kindergarten that I am still really, really close to. One of them is the girl that I'm going to Tahoe with, and the other one is I'm the godmother to her first son, and she's still one of my best friends. We talk weekly. So yeah, and actually both of them did go to my high school, but yeah, other than that, I wasn't really involved in school that much. I very much just, like, worked, stayed in my own lane, and hung out with my friends outside of school. You could not pay me enough money to go back to high school, and you couldn't pay me enough money to be in my 20s again, because your 30s are just where it's at. Life is just so much better in your 30s. I mentioned this blush in my January favorites. It's the Gen Nude from BareMinerals in Pink Me Up, and I am still wearing it every day. I just love this blush. All right, somebody asked who my favorite YouTubers and Instagram accounts to follow are. And so for YouTube, the very first person I ever followed on YouTube was Nicole Guerrero, and I still love her. She's like my, like, OG YouTube follow. I love Kathleen Lights. I love Jessica Braun. I'm trying to think. I watch, like, an array of random people. Let's go to my subscriber list. Ooh, I love Casey Holmes. Oh, Samantha Ravndal. Oh my gosh, she is hysterical. I actually listen to her podcast too. It's called Approachable. She does it with her friend, and they are just hilarious together. Highly recommend that podcast. They talk about, like, really deep topics, but in an approachable way. So those are probably my favorite. Yeah, I would say those are probably my favorite YouTubers. Milani Make It Last setting spray. As far as favorite Instagram accounts, I really like Allison Haley. It's this girl named Haley, and she is very relatable because she's on a mission this year to, like, declutter and really use the products that she has. And, like, the pieces that she has in her wardrobe, she's really trying to get the most use out of them and, like, sharing more similar things instead of sharing new stuff all the time. So I really like her. For my eyeshadow, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just gonna throw something in my crease. And there's something about this palette. This is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. There's something about this palette that I always felt like I couldn't grab it if I was just gonna throw something in my crease. I had to grab it for, like, a special occasion. I don't know why. I think just because it is, like, my most expensive palette. So this is what it looks like. I am going to just grab a fluffy brush, and I'm going to grab this shade right here and put this in my crease. Now I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, Instagram. I don't follow a ton of people on Instagram. I don't scroll a lot because I just don't think that it serves me, and I'm trying really hard to, like, it's hard not to get burned out. I try really hard not to spend a ton of time on social media. So Instagram is one of those places that I will watch stories and then just click off, and that's all I do on there. So I don't have, like, a ton of accounts that I follow for specific things. I do look at Trend Mood a lot to see about new releases that are coming out in the makeup industry. And then, like, a few fashion bloggers that I always watch their stories. And like I said, Allison Haley has really good travel content. A lot of times I'll just like search for travel content, but I will say there's not a ton of people. Like I can't even list 5 people off the top of my head that I follow religiously on Instagram, which is crazy because I spend quite a bit of time on there, but I just don't consume it as much, I guess. I'm using my Stila Stay All Day with the micro tip. Someone asked if I would ever go cruelty free, and I definitely would. I think that it will become easier and easier as more brands are striving towards that. I'm definitely not going to be somebody who's going to throw out all of my makeup and then like start over, or like only keep things that are cruelty free. So I guess like the short answer is at the moment I'm not doing it, but I think naturally the industry will be going in that direction, and I think buy more brands that are than that aren't now, just because it's so easy to see if they are or aren't online without doing a ton of research. And I think that there's certain things that we all spend time on, and I don't feel like at this current moment I have time to do the research that I would want to do about each brand to see how it is, because there's like different levels of, it's like the clean makeup too. It's so hard to tell what actually is clean and like what your classification of clean is. So I would love to, but at this current moment I am not like going through and doing that. All right, I had to get way too close to my mirror to do my wing. I used to do winged liner every single day, and then for the past like maybe couple of years I have not been doing it. I've just been doing a line above my upper lash line, and now I'm like back to doing a wing almost every day. I don't know, it's just, anyway, back to the gold palette. Ooh. I do this every time I open this palette. This one shade is too small for the pan. Okay. I'm going to go in with this chocolatey brown shade and just put that on my lower lash line. I'm letting my liner just dry for a second so that I don't mess it up when I curl my lashes. All right, somebody else asked me what my Starbucks coffee order is. I do not drink coffee and I don't really go to Starbucks. So if I do go to Starbucks, I get the strawberry acai refresher. That is my go-to, just because I don't drink coffee. I'm going in with the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 3. If you've been following for a while, you know I don't fill my brows in, but I actually placed an order at Ulta because I had a 20% off, and I ordered the Precisely My Brow. Is that what it's called? I think. And so I'm going to try that out. I think it's supposed to be delivered on Friday. Today is Wednesday, so I'm going to try it out just because I do have sparse areas. I just have never filled them in. I don't know. I'm like on the fence about it. I don't want to add another step to my makeup routine and then feel like I have to do that all the time. So we'll see. All right, a lot of the questions were about tips to staying motivated and organized when you work from home, and then also to work out. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes. I actually just grabbed another Lash Paradise yesterday when I was at Target. I only have 2 mascaras in my collection right now, which is amazing. I am so proud of myself for that. Anyway, so tips for working out and for working from home are kind of the same, I guess, but different. One thing I religiously do is make a to-do list. I am such a list person, so I will make a list either the morning of or the night before, and I also have a list for the day, or for the week rather. So I have like the things that I have to get done this week, and then some of those items will go into certain days, and then I just go off of that. So I get a lot of satisfaction out of crossing things off of my list. So throughout the day, I'll just go ahead and like cross things off, which that keeps me on track because I can see how many items I have. I know what they are, so I know how long each one is going to take me. And then, I don't know, I just have more motivation to finish my list. Also, for me personally, working from home, it's like if I don't work, I won't make money and therefore won't be able to pay my mortgage. So there's like a direct correlation in working and being able to pay my bills, which is very motivating for me because obviously I don't want to be in a bad situation. So I think that if you work for someone else working from home, it can be harder because that driving factor, if you have a salary, isn't there. And then as far as working out, I have gone back and forth. I know I've mentioned it on here before that I used to be crazy about working out. Like, I worked out 7 days a week. I had a personal trainer. I would do a personal training session during the day and then go to a like boot camp class at night. I was on a strict diet plan, like all of these things, and I still was unhappy with my body. I had the worst body image ever. And then basically I like don't really want to talk about this, but I feel like I already started, so it is what it is. Basically I was in by far the best shape of my life, but I was still so unhappy with my body. I had a really, really unhealthy body image. And so I ended up, when I sold my last business and decided to like go off on my own, I cut personal training out because I needed to budget and just be financially smarter and be saving money while I built up my business. I'm going in with my Hourglass Caution Extreme. So I cut out my personal training, and then I went through a really, really bad breakup and I just fell off the train, like completely derailed from all nutrition, all everything. So since then, I really haven't been super consistent. I go through phases of months of working out 5 days a week, and then I just don't work out at all for like a month, and then I go back and I start working out again. So I think that the key, I'm now doing a program which I will share more about in a separate video. I'm doing a program now that I am working out every single day, 7 days a week, and I've just committed to doing it, and it's part of something like a list of things that I have to do every day for the program I'm doing. And so it's just another thing to cross off of my to-do list. And I think that finding something that you enjoy doing is key. If you hate your workout, you will dread it, and then you won't want to do it, and then you'll find a reason not to. But if it's in your calendar, it's on your list of things that you have to do that day, then you will do it. So that is just kind of like I'm realizing that everyone talks about balance and, you know, just like eating good 80% of the time and then treating yourself 20% of the time, or 90-10, or, you know, eat when you're hungry or whatever. And those just don't work for me. So I'm realizing that in order for me to have control, I have to have the rules set out before I'm making decisions in real time. So if I have like strict rules on what I can and cannot do, then the decision has already been made for me, and it's easier for me to say no, or for me to say like I have to go to the gym because that's just something I already have to do. So right now I'm doing a program. Like I said, I will talk about it later in another video, but it's one of those things that I just know the things that I have to do, and I have to work out 7 days a week in this program that I'm in, and so it's just something that's on my to-do list. I also don't think that there's some like magic formula, that there's certain people in the world who are just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to work out every single second of my life. Like, I don't think that that's realistic. I think that it's normal to dread your workout, but you always feel better afterwards. So I always try to keep that in mind, and since I've been doing this program, I'm on day 12 of it. I've worked out 12 days in a row, and I don't know, there's something about it that it's like your mind shifts the more you do it and the more you just say, this is something I have to do, your mind is just like, okay, well, I have to do it, so I may as well just give it my all. And then, I don't know, I just do it. So I think that motivation comes and goes, but I think just setting your mind and being mentally locked into the fact that you're going to do it is like the first and most important step. For lip liner, I'm using the Bite pencil in the shade 20. I don't think it has a name. Let me know if sharing the program I'm on and like an update and all of that is something you guys are interested in. I have been filming part of it. I was going to wait until it's over. It's 75 days, so I'm not going to be done with the program until April 8th, I believe. So I have been filming though, so I'm more than happy to do like a portion of it now, like within the next week or so I would share it, and then do like the end result update. If you guys are interested in that, let me know down below in the comments. This is the BareMinerals lipstick in the shade Heaven. This is one of my favorite shades. I have been wearing this basically every day. I didn't even realize that it was in my collection. That's so sad. All right, this is my finished makeup look. It's basically just my everyday makeup look that I am always doing, but just kind of rediscovering some of the products that I totally forgot were in my collection, or just that I haven't used in a really long time. I will link all of the products down below in the bottom bar for you guys, and I would love it if you let me know just videos that you guys are interested in seeing. I obviously want to create content that you guys want to watch, so definitely leave some suggestions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.